The people who do YouTube as their main content seem more miserable, if only because you have to continually think of shit to pump out constantly. Yeah, you have to really love it to want to be a content creator full time. I think doing it part time can still be really fun. I think doing it full time can be fun if you can like segment out your time. I think streaming is one of the less lucrative ones because there's no like passive income, but it's more bearable because you get like real-time social interaction. So it's a little better. If you just do YouTube, you're sitting alone in a room recording and scripting, and then editing and reviewing whatever. And it's like not much interaction. And then you put out a thing and you're like, God, I hope they like it. And then maybe it gets views, maybe it doesn't. That's mentally taxing. All that you go through for something that might not even get picked up by an algo, right? That's tough. And there's a lot of other things that make it mentally taxing, but just that alone gets to a lot of people. Like that's the part that really gets them the most, I find, is that you could put the same amount of effort into two things and one might work, one might not, or both might not work. Or people start to have mental crises when like they put their life's effort into this one video and they put so much into it and they're so happy with it and they send it and then it like doesn't do that well. And then some stupid meme that they made pops off and makes them like get so many views and they put like no effort into it, but then they also don't know how to recreate it because it wasn't their passion. You know, like that sends people spiraling. It gets them spiraling so hard because you're like, I don't know how to recreate this and I don't know why this one popped off exactly. You know, it genuinely like sets people off. It makes them doubt themselves. It creates this type of self-doubt that you don't get anywhere else. Always a love for shit that goes viral. That's why, you know, my strat is when I want to try something out, I have all these high effort ideas and I go, no. And I put them on the back burner or I work on them, but let them go slow. And I try to put out my low effort ideas first. Because if I find something that works that's low effort, I should do that. If I always chase the like high effort thing that's perfect in my mind to do and that works out, that's great. But like, I'm going to lose all of my money making it. So it's not sustainable. So those should become the passion projects, right? And then the lowest common denominator, the thing that works but takes the least money and effort out of me, is the thing to have to pump out, right? So I always like stuff that I really want to do but is high effort and takes a lot of money. I try to like push it back because I'm like, I think it'll do well, but in my friends' experience that are like YouTube creators, it doesn't. You know, so I'm like, as good as I feel about this, I should push it back. I should still work on it for my own fun, right? But I should try to take like, or I try to take the idea and make a simpler version of it. And that is worth so much more for you if this is your livelihood. And then, you know, if that works, if you have something that works, great. Now you have money and time to do the passion project as well, right? So it's like you can sustain it and still get to do the thing you like. You just have to do it a little later. You just have to have the wherewithal to wait a little bit, right? So that's my strat. That's how I keep myself sane. That's how I do it, man. Yeah, he says, person you talked to once who put all their savings into making a first chapter of a webcomic, real professional looking, and they even made merch, just got no real traction, so has been sitting at one chapter forever. Yeah, instead what you should do is pay an artist to make your OCs, assuming you're not the artist, and then just like get art of them. Don't even make the comic. Do not make the comic. Just get a bunch of like art of them interacting and post it on Twitter, and people might like your OCs. And that will like, you could get like a bajillion more billion Twitter posts out of the same money that you put into an entire chapter one of a comic. And then maybe if people like that enough, which happens more often if it's advertised properly, then they'll be like, now can you make a comic? Yeah, one-off comics. Yeah, exactly. You can make like little 4-panel ones instead of doing like a whole full chapter thing. Something without backgrounds, you know, like that kind of stuff. It does a lot more. So you can always take your idea and do like a little version of it and then build it later, you know? Know what I mean? Jeff Jacques has been doing the 4-panel comic strap for 20 years, has been super successful. Yeah, you just gotta pick something sustainable, and then if it works, then like, you know, later you can make your comic. That's where I'm at with like animation. My like passion project, I'd love to do some sort of animation. It doesn't even have to be like a full episodic thing. I just want to do like one long animated video. That's what I want. I have never been like, let me actually go do that right now, because I'm aware of the costs. It's crazy. So instead, I'm going to do like tiny animatics, which is when you don't actually frame by frame animate too many parts of it. It's mostly just like stills and stuff. I've done little bits of that here and there. I have a bunch of like little art things I'm going to do that are already set up. There you go. I'm just going to do all these little bits and eventually maybe fund that thing later if I could. That's it. Want the animation to be 2D or 3D? 2D. That's the problem. 2D is so expensive. It's frame by frame, John. It's so, ooh. 3D is a lot more accessible because you can use like the same model and then just apply animations to it. So you're not like redrawing everything. The art budget is like not so bad, but yeah, I want to do that. I need to grab people to like do more like small, lower level animations and things for like fun Twitter posts and stuff. So if I can't have my whole video, because funding that would be like nutty. I could at least do like more frequent small animated posts and stuff, you know? Yeah, Geega made his animated movie. I don't even, did he say how much that cost him? Did he talk about the budget? It gets crazy. It gets insane for that. 3D is good though, yeah, like you do spend a lot getting the 3D models and everything, but if you keep using it, you can save so much in the long term. So much. Well into the 6. Yeah, it's nutty to me. I can't even imagine. Oh, it's times like this when I'm like, man, this is what like random ass VCs and investors are for. You'll be like, let's make an anime, and they'll be like, yeah, here's $1 million, you know? And then you know it won't make money, and then you can never pay them back, and they get pissed, but whatever, you know, their fault for investing. Oh, to be a failed investment. How nice it would be.